He was a noted historian. He was a world traveler. He was an author, and he was a Harvard PhD. He was known as the father of Black history.
Okay.
It was his dream to see Black history in mainstream, as these ladies said earlier, to see it in mainstream America. So he decided to establish the second week of February, back then, as Negro History Week. Why? As they said earlier, because of two different people, President Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president, and he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. You know what that is? Who knows what the Emancipation Proclamation does? Somebody tell me. Freedom of the slaves. Ending slavery in 1863. Frederick Douglass was born a slave, managed to escape, and took courage and had courage to speak out against slavery back then. He also served as an advisor to President Lincoln during the Civil War. That was back in 1926. 1972, Negro History Week changed, as they said, to Black History Week. 4 years later, it changed to Black History Month. So here we are, Black History Month 2013. And as tradition goes, we lift up those people that we know that helped us get where we are today.
Amen.
But I'm here to tell you that there's some more people that are often forgotten in Black history. Not taken away from Sojourner Truth and Martin Luther King and all those folks, but there's some people that we don't talk about and we don't learn about in our school because they don't teach it in our history. Amen. Which they should. People that contributed to our way of life, the way we live every single day, by the inventions they made. Did you know that a Black woman invented the ironing board? Yeah. Because she was the one who was doing all the ironing back then, and she decided, you know what, I'm getting up off this floor. Let's make me a board. Jan E. Matzlinger revolutionized the shoe industry.
All right.
By making a shoe lasting machine that would attach the sole of the shoe to the shoe in 1 minute.
Oh, man.
Wow. See, they used to do this by hand.
Okay.
And he was probably one of them who knew it by hand. He said, we're going to do better. So he decided to make a shoe lasting machine.
Okay.
Another Black man, Garrett Morgan, invented the traffic signal. George Grant, another Black man, the golf tee. Osborne Dorsey, the doorknob back in the 1800s. A sister named Ellen Elgin was responsible for the clothes ringing back in 1880s. She got with Sarah Bone and said, I'm tired of wringing these clothes out on my hand. Let's make us a machine. And Theodora Stevens, also a Black woman who invented the curling iron. Not like the ones you plug in the wall now, but she invented the ones long years ago. But to break it down a little bit more for you, I want to tell you a story about how life would be. I want to read you a story about how life would be without Black people. This story is about a race of people who I will remain nameless, who stood up one day and said boldly, we are fed up with the Negroes, with the Black people and the African American, whatever they call themselves, we're fed up with them. So they joined together and they wished in a way. They passed through this deep, dark tunnel and ended up in a Twilight Zone kind of place.
Okay.
Where there was an America with no Black people. At first, those that remained breathed a sigh of relief. Woo! No more crime, no more drugs, no more violence, no more welfare. Oh, the Black folks are gone. Then suddenly, reality set in. The America, this new America, is not America at all. You see, there were very few crops that flourished because this nation was built on a slave support system.
Right.
And who was the slaves?
Right.
Black folk.
Right.
There were no cities with tall skyscrapers because Alexander Mills, a Black man, invented and designed a very important improvement to the opening and closing of elevator doors. See, the people would forget to close the shafts and would fall down in the shafts. So Alexander Mills designed a door that would close. So without his invention, one would find great difficulty reaching those high floors. There are few, if any, cars because Richard Spikes, a black man, improved the automatic gear shift, and Garrett Morgan, another black man, invented the traffic signal.
All right.
Furthermore, no one could use the rapid transit system because its procure, the one that came before it, was an electric railway trolley. And that trolley was the one they had two people on. That was invented by a black man named Albert R. Robinson. Even if the streets were ready for cars or the transit system, they were cluttered because another African American, Charles Brooks, improved the street sweeper. Say that 10 times. There were few, if any, newspapers or books or magazines because John Love invented a portable pencil sharpener. William Purvis invented and improved many fountain pens. Lee Barges fashioned a number of improvements to the typewriting machine. And W.A. Love invented the advanced printing press. And they were all, you guess it, black. Even if Americans could write their stories and articles and books, they still had trouble transporting them because William Berry invented the postmarking and canceling machine, and William Purvis also invented the hand stamp. Phil Downing invented the letter drop. The lawns were brown and wilted because in 1897, John Smith invented and improved a lawn sprinkler. John Burr designed a better lawnmower that had the rotating blades and the traction wheels. And you know what else? Even when they entered their homes, they found that they were poorly ventilated and poorly heated. You see, Frederick Jones invented a portable air conditioner unit, and Alice Parker, the heating furnace. Their homes were dim. Why? Because Louis Latimer invented and improved the electric light. Michael Harvey invented a lantern, and Granville T. Wood, the automatic cutoff switch. Their homes were filled because Thomas W. Stewart invented a self-wringing mop. Lloyd Ray, the long-handled dustpan. Even their children met them at the door. They were barefoot, shabby, motley, and unkempt. But what would anyone expect? Jan E. Metzlinger invented the shoelasting machine, and Walter Sammons invented a comb. Sarah Boone invented the what? Ironing board. And George T. Salmon made a better clothes dryer. Finally, they were resigned to have dinner amidst all this turmoil. But here again, the food had spoiled because another black man, John Standard, improved the invention of the refrigerator. Now, isn't that something? What would this country be without black people? Martin Luther King says, by the time we leave for work, Americans have depended on many inventions from the minds of blacks. Black history includes more than slavery and freedom fighters. It's not just another day. We should celebrate black history every day. Amen. I have a play that I've written, and we did it last year, called Beyond February. And in this play, we talk about a lot of this stuff because I'm an advocate of knowing who we are and what we did. Because this should encourage us to do more. We should want to get up and do something. Now, if you see something that needs to be invented, you see something that needs to be improved, do it. Frances was talking to me on the way up here, and I was telling her what I was going to speak on, and she said, years ago, before the bottled water came out, she said she had thought about bottled water. And she said, nobody's going to pay for bottled water. I wonder how much money she could have made. She could have made off a bottle of water with a black woman's face on the front. But let me tell you about another invention. And this is something that those of us who are probably 30 years or older may remember. And this inventor is not black. But I'm telling you this because of the creativity that went into this. In 1975, a marketer named Gary Dahl, after work, went with some of his friends and sat down, shooting the breeze and talking. Some of them started talking about they had to go home because they had to go feed their pets, complaining about walking the dog and doing all this. So he started joking about having the perfect pet. One that you don't have to feed, you don't have to walk, you don't have to bathe, you don't have to groom, he won't die, he won't become sick, and he's not disobedient. He said the perfect pet would be the rock. Y'all remember the pet rock? How many of y'all remember the pet rock? Okay, let me tell you about this pet rock. So he decided jokingly that he was going to make a little book, a manual to tell folks how to take care of their pet rock. How to feed it, how to shelter it, how to paper train it, how to make it roll over. He was just joking with it. And then he decided to take his little joke a little further, and he went to a planetarium and bought a 1 cent Rosetta Stone rock. And I think it may have looked something like this. Paid 1 cent. I read somewhere 1 cent for it, and somebody says pennies, but he paid little nothing for it. So he took his little rock, made a little box, put some hay in the box, put the rock in the hay, and made homemade flyers. Then he decides to market his rock. He's a marketer, right? So he decides to market his rock. And this project is much more impressive, considering it only took him 6 months to become successful. Neiman Marcus purchased 500 rocks off the bat. He was on the Tonight Show. So that's like Johnny Carson and what's that other man's David Letterman. So he got a lot of publicity. The rock sold for $3.95. And it's estimated that he sold over 5 million rocks in a 6-period span. Even more, the rock cost him about a penny. For him to put it in the box and put the hay and the little pamphlet, 30 cents in bulk. He said that if he had any incidentals and shipping, it cost him probably 65 cents to deal with this rock. So he's made a profit of over $3 on a 1 cent rock. With these totals, Dahl earned over, get this, $15 million during a 6 month period in 1975. In today's money, that would be just about $56,166,419.02 off a rock. Francis, you should have did your water. Now, the rest is left up to us. I'm not going to talk long, but I want you to know that you all have things in you. You young kids, your minds are fresh, and we're looking to you to do something. A lot of us older people, we have ideas. Don't let them just sit there and say, wow, I wish I could have, I should have, would have. Do something. Remember, every time you reach to open a door, Osborne Dorsey helped you out. Now, I have one question that I want to ask, and this is for people 18 and under, because I have a gift that I want to give. Where's Stephanie? I need your eyes to help me with this, Stephanie. I'm going to ask her one question to see how well you paid attention. And the question is, Dr. Carver G. Woodson established Negro History Week in the month of February for 2 reasons. I want to know those 2 reasons he did that. Look, he raised his hand. Now, I know he ain't 18. I might have drove up a long road. Okay, I got a hand back here. Stand up and talk real loud, very proudly, loudly.
Abraham Lincoln and the Emancipation Proclamation.
And there were 2 things. Abraham Lincoln.
Douglas's birthday.
Who was it?
Frederick Douglass.
Amen. Y'all give him my hand. I got something for you.
All right. Come on up, Tyler.
I hope you all got something out of this. I want to again thank you for listening and paying attention. I will give you my rock, but I might be rich on here.